And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, hello and welcome to the Weighing In Podcast. We got so much going on. We just had the UFC with Belal Muhammad taking on Della, Maddalena. That was one hell of a fifth round. We're going to talk about that fight. We have us and still champion with Valentina Shevchenko. There was no dog walking going on in that fight. We're going to talk about that too. All kinds of things happening. We got my man being here. He's ready to back up his play, tell everyone how right he was, even though we can prove he was wrong. Hey, what's up?
I was right about a lot. Of course, the one fight I was wrong about, John wants to throw it in my face. But, I just had the wrong female fight. The person got dog walked in. That's the only thing was. Sometimes in my spidey senses, they get reversed, and that's okay.
Especially with females.
No, I'm all about the female market, my man. That's just how it works. No one's getting confused in the spidey senses when it comes to the female. So, man, we had there were some good fights tonight, man.
There was a couple of fucking
there was some good fights. The Santos and Yeong fight was really good. It was the second fight, I think, on the prelims. Great little scrap. And then obviously Barriault and stuff. Well, anyways, we'll get into the full card about all that stuff. But hey, betustv.com. Make sure you guys check them out for all the best sports books and betting odds and all the other stuff that they have available there. Check them out, man. They've got I love the fact that I'm on there now because you can get on there now with all the sports with the hockey, and the hockey's been on fire, dude. Holy shit. And then I'm a Denver Nuggets fan. Go ahead.
Who won? Do you know who won between the Golden Knights and
I did not watch it. Was that tonight?
Yep.
I didn't watch it tonight. No, I watched the Caps. They got destroyed 4-0 by the Hurricanes. But then I watched my boy Aaron Gordon, man. He's been on fire this playoffs, man. He had a nice 3-pointer again to put him into overtime, and then they won. So they're up right now in the series, which not many people thought they would be. So good for them, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can do. They are a fucking awesome team, man. Really awesome team. So hopefully they can get another championship here soon. Anyways, hey, that's it. betustv.com. Check them out. Also, too, we do our thing here. It's called Drink Element right here. There you go. That's what it looks like. And let me just repeat it. 1,000 milligrams of sodium. Oh, you like that one. This is the watermelon. 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. The magnesium and the potassium, mainly the magnesium, help me sleep at night. So I actually, when we film this late at night, when I get done yelling at John about how wrong he was most of the night, I actually need to calm down a little bit. And so I actually get some element in me, and that and that magnesium really knocks me out. So it's something for you guys if you guys are looking to recover from whether it's activities like playing sports or just everyday life, working in the farm, whatever it is, right? Working hard. For me, I don't do shit, so it's just for me to actually lay down and unwind. And so it helps me sleep at night. So get a good night's sleep, wake up in the morning, feel refreshed. All right, but hey, let's go ahead and just jump right into the fights, man. It was a good night of fights, but we're going to start with that main event, man. Belal Muhammad, Della, Maddalena. Belal did exactly what he said he was going to do, John. Ill-advised.
Thank you.
But he did it. I mean, I think he kind of realized the fight was kind of slipping away a little bit.
But he lost the fight.
I mean, that's man, John, there's so many ways that but this is what, didn't I say this on Tuesday? I said, is this one of those things where a coach got in your head and all of a sudden now you're like Ronda Rousey, they're believing that you could beat Floyd Mayweather? I was like, please don't tell me that's what you're doing. And was it because look, I'm the champ now. I've reached my goal. And now I'm going to show the UFC I can be entertaining. Why? This is
why?
Man, I said, and I knew it was going to be a tougher fight than people were giving it credit to be. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to take Belal. He's going to take JDM down. He's going to control it. Because, they kept going back to the Gilbert Burns fight. Now, he maybe could have done that. He just chose not to. I have no idea why, John.
Everything comes down to game planning is super important. And if your game plan was, we're not going to shoot a takedown until the end of the second round, there's something wrong with your game planning. Okay. And I don't care if you land the takedown. I care that you make him have to think about it and know that it's coming and it's coming again and it's coming again. If you break away, that's awesome. It doesn't matter. But you can't have it to where it's playing into his game. And that's what we talked about in the podcast last time. It was, don't play another man's game. Well, Belal, you ended up playing another man's game. Where Jack Della Maddalena's strength is the stand-up. He goes to the body well. He's got great striking. It's very tight. He's got power. He's physically strong. You can see it. And his wrestling has gotten way better. You know, I'm not going to buy into the bullshit that he choked out Craig Jones. Okay. that was nicely set up.
Yeah.
They didn't even use AI in that one, but okay, great. But he has gotten better. You can see his improvements when it comes to him. Man, and a couple times he physically just muscled his way up.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, if you've got it, use it. That was awesome. Great job of getting back to your feet. But I thought Jack actually fought a really smart fight. I thought, for the most part, he was getting hit with shots. It was surprising. He got surprised by Belal in a couple of them, but a lot of his shots that he was landing, they had some power on him, and he hurt Belal multiple times in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Belal had never trained with a ginger before, but man, they're fucking retarded.
We talked about that.
They're so damn strong. I've wrestled so many redheads because I was going to high school in North Idaho, and there's a lot of gingers up that way, and shit, they are strong, like just horrible. Yeah. It's horrible to wrestle them because they're strong, and you're like, you don't look like anything. I'm gonna walk you, and then all of a sudden, fucking. Yeah, I'm like Minot Fiorot, just fucking getting walked up, right? Like it was just horrible. And so in this situation, I don't want to take anything away from JDM.
No,
but
you did a great job.
I want to know. I really got to know. Like, I'll be a fly on the wall. I want to know why Belal Muhammad was having success in the 4th and the 5th round with the takedowns. Was having success mixing it up with the striking and the takedowns. Now, don't be wrong. He wasn't. JDM was not easy to hold down. Everyone thought he'd be easy to hold down. Everyone thought he'd be easy to take down. And Belal had a hard time getting him down. And when he did get him down, he had a hard time controlling him when he was down. So I couldn't stress enough how tough this fight was going to be for Belal. Just stylistically, I thought. And especially when Belal started saying, hey, I'm not going to shoot. I'm going to stand. I'm like, please tell me you're kidding. Please tell me you're kidding. And he had it in him, man. I mean, like, I got to give him credit. He did what he said he was going to do. And it was ill-advised, I know, but it cost him his title, and it sucks. But bottom line is he did it in his mind, and he went. He showed
he's got a chin, man. Because I think I refereed one that he got knocked out, and it was one of the only ones he did. And man, he showed a chin in this fight because he took some big shots at times. He got wobbled a little bit, but he sucked it right back up and came back. So
yeah, I mean. Impressive. But John, I mean, this is one of his best fights. I mean, like, not best fights in terms of, but it was like one of his most entertaining fights I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and JDM brought it, and then Belal brought it, and
I'm being honest. All this whole thing about Belal and he's not excited. If you go back and you look at his fights, take a look at Vicente Luque. Okay, yeah, I can see where some people can complain a little bit about some parts of it, but not bad. You look at his Sean Brady fight.
Oh, freaking
fantastic. His Leon Edwards fight, fantastic.
Yeah.
You're going to complain about that? In this fight, fantastic. Now, like you said, a little ill-advised as far as game planning, in my opinion. But, hey, he's the champion. He can go out and fight the way he wants. He did. He gave it his best. He came up a little bit short, but super entertaining fight.
Well, I guess this just sets up. It's going to be Islam and JDM. It's going to be
Boy, didn't that just open the door?
Yeah, Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria for the champ, so for the title, and then I guess Islam's not gonna relinquish the title. He's gonna stay at 55, but he's gonna go up, fight at 70, and then he's gonna come back down and beat the number 1 contender, is what he said. So I don't know if it's gonna be for an interim title or if it's gonna be for the legit title. I'm not sure.
Got to be for an interim. You watch, because they said the one thing, it'll be for an interim. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're fighting for a title.
You know what an interim title means.
Yeah, it means that you're not the champ.
Exactly. It's exactly what it means. You're not the champion.
I mean, I'm really like, I'm a little torn. I wanted Belal to win this fight. But I'm also torn because I wanted Islam to get a shot at JDM. I wanted him to win the second title if he gets the opportunity to. And obviously JDM proved tonight that people you can't count him out. He's not that guy. You can't count him out. So I don't know, man. This is going to be one of those. It's going to get a little confusing.
17 straight now?
Something like that. 17 or is it 18 now?
17, 18. Might be 18 straight now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
18 straight now. Yeah. Lost his first 2. That's it.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's freaking impressive as hell.
I mean, John, what about him tonight? Like outside of just him being ginger and super strong, like what about him though was what impressed you about him tonight?
I'm being honest. What really impressed me about him.
I want you to lie to me, John. Please tell me.
Okay, what really impressed me is the car that he came in was this freaking Camaro, and it had a souped up. Well, you asked me to lie, so I'm lying.
I was like, where are you going with this?
No, what really impressed me was
dad joke right there.
He came out a little bit, just a little bit, looked like he had a little bit of nerves, but he settled in real quick.
Yeah.
And he just started throwing his hands, and you could see he was not trying to throw super hard. He was just trying to touch him. Let me just touch him. And that showed me the composure that he has gained over time. It's impressive that, he's that good in the stand-up. He's accurate with his shots. He goes to the body really well. He really didn't go to the body as much with Belal as he has with other people. But the shots, the biggest part that I looked at, when I'm watching the fight is who's hitting who with more effectiveness. And when I say effectiveness, that's usually power. Who's got the heavier shots, who's doing the more damage. And overall, it was, Jack. He was landing with, a volume, but it was effective volume, and it had some power on it. And it slowly, you could see how it started to work and wear down a guy in Belal who we know he's got a hell of a gas tank, but he was tired at the end.
Yeah,
he was tired because of all the shots.
Yeah, and he had to cram them all in. He was trying to cram because I think he just realized after round 3, he's like, I'm losing this fight. I got to change it up a little bit and do something. I'm going to lose my title.
Yep.
And by then it was too late, I think.
A little bit.
And look, overall though, I thought the especially that 5th round was a fantastic round. Great round.
Was there everything you could ask for.
Yeah, and look,
there was a couple of those.
He didn't need to wrestle to the commitment of taking him down early in the fight. He just had to threaten it.
That's exactly it.
DC said that several times, like in some of the earlier fights, and so did Dom. Like, let's just set it up. Let's just get that on their mind. Let's make them one step slower by making them think about it and hesitate. And am I going to get punched or am I going to have to defend a takedown? And when you don't do that, when you have a weapon like Belal did with the wrestling, and you don't utilize it just off of just sheer stubbornness. And I got a lot of respect for Belal, man, because look, a lot of people were rooting against him, and the guy just always seems to come out on top, But tonight it was like he did it to himself. It wasn't everyone else doing it to him. He did it to himself. I'm like, man, you had all the tools, you have all the weapons, you had the ability, and you saw what it could have been in rounds 1, 2, and 3. You saw what it could have been in rounds 4 and 5. But then you were
11
tired.
straight wins,
huh?
11 straight wins. Come on.
He got all the shitty fights because they didn't want him to be champion. So he got all the guys that were supposed to beat him, but then just didn't beat him. So I don't know. I mean, but if you're Belal, I always have to ask this, Sean. If you're Belal, where do you go from here?
Yeah, it is the question.
No, John. I don't want. Yeah, I want to give me an answer.
No,
dude.
It is the question. I don't know because I don't know how much is still there for him. How much does he want to still be? Does he? Is he in that position where I want to try to get the title back? That's going to be tough for him because dude, if you listen, who was? Someone had Dana White on a broadcast, and they said, who's your which UFC champion do you like the least? And he goes, "Oh, that's a shitty question, Belal Muhammad." And I was like, "Oh man, I can't believe you did that."
I don't think he did, John. I think it was like they imposed the voice. I don't think he said that.
I hope. I don't. I sure seemed like he said it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
If but that's not a good position to be in because then how many fights is it going to take you to get back at a title shot if you are him?
When you're Dana White, that's when you need that whole like I need to call a friend kind of like to get you out of the mess. Like,
it's one of those. What champion do I not like? Let's see, who was fighting back in 1997. Let me figure that out. Okay, just go back.
Frank Shamrock.
Okay, there you go.
That's
Boom. That's perfect. That's the perfect one for him.
Just said Frank Shamrock.
Exactly.
Because they fucking hate each other.
Yes, they do. But I just look and go, does Belal want to get the championship, or does he want? I want specific fights now. I want to fight Kamaru Usman, or I want to fight. Is there somebody that you look at and you go, that's a fight that excites me? That's really what's going to matter as far as what direction he goes.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where he goes from here. Do they try to give him a really hard matchup to get him beat, or do they give him fights that excite him? Does he fight like the winner of Buckley and Usman? Who else would he fight?
That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, those are all the questions to be answered, but we'll see how it all shakes out. But then JDM, does he fight Islam? Obviously, he fights Islam next, I would imagine. So Shavkat on the back burner. And Sean Brady on the back burner.
Sean Brady that's the whole thing. I don't know where Shavkat's really at right at this moment. Mm-hmm. As far as his training and stuff, and so that has a determination on when he's coming back. Sean Brady will fight right now, and so you got Sean Brady can get in there and fight if they want to do that. Not sure that's a great matchup for their new champion. I'm just being honest. That's going to be a very tough fight for Jack. But
yeah, I think it's going to be Islam first. This whole thing with him waiting to see what happens with the Belal thing.
I thought he was in camp already.
Huh?
Thought he was in camp already.
No,
Islam. Islam was already in camp.
No, I understand. No, I'm saying that. No, you got me confused. What are you talking about? You got me.
Well, confused. they had Islam supposedly going to be fighting here coming up.
No, he said that at the press conference that he's like, no, whatever happens to this fight will determine who Islam fights next.
Okay,
so he's in camp.
Probably Islam.
I just don't know how he's going to fight JDM in the next three months.
He's not.
So he's not. So he's going to end up having to sit on the back burner a little bit longer. So he's out of camp probably now. Or those guys are never out of camp. They're always in camp. They're always training 2-3 times a day.
Just the level that it's at.
Yeah. And even then it's like, they pick up the pace on the conditioning and the cardio. That's pretty much about it. But they live in the fucking mountains at like 40,000 fucking feet. So they're all right. JDM, it's going to be Islam. I would imagine that's why they had him hold out. It's going to have Charles and Ilia Topuria for the interim title. Sounds like Islam's going to go up and fight JDM. Now, do you have Shavkat and Sean Brady? Do you have Sean Brady was asking for, who was he asking for?
Sean Brady's asking for anybody. He doesn't care. He said, I'll fight any of them.
Oh, he asked for Ian Gary.
Yeah, right.
He's like, no, that's the fight to make. That's the fight to make.
It's a great fight to make.
If you guys have a weigh in, fuck yeah. The fact that he's okay with going backwards and saying, hey, yeah, go ahead, bring me that guy. Huh? Bring me your chicken. I love that. I was thoroughly impressed tonight by the performance from JDM. He had a great game plan, was a lot better on getting back up to his feet. He fought a great fight. Belal had moments of fighting a great fight. The cuts, the blood, all those things starts to wear on you. If you take damage, doesn't matter. Like if you take damage, you start to get tired. He's known for his cardio, his conditioning, pushing the action, pushing the pace.
Right.
But when you start taking damage, it affects your conditioning, your cardio. And we saw that tonight in rounds 4 and 5. Have you ever seen him that tired? No. I don't recall ever seeing him that tired.
No.
He was exhausted in that 5th round, but it was also extremely fast paced for a 5th round.
Yeah, it was.
Extremely fast.
They were going.
I was very impressed. Both fighters went out there, laid it on the line. Great fight. Belal come up short. JDM new champion. Hashtag and new is what it was. And man, that's right. Very, very impressive performance. Very impressive performance. All right, let's go ahead and talk about your shitty fight. Go ahead. The next one. Fucking the whining champion. Go ahead.
Hey, just be glad that you didn't accept the bet.
There was never going to be a bet. You always try to chime in some dumb
What are you talking about?
You
know what? You sit there and you have your opinion, then you give your bullshit opinion of gonna dog walker, and it's like,
I got the wrong girl fight mixed up.
So let's bet.
The other girl fight was a dog walk. Go ahead.
All right, we had Valentina Shevchenko taking on Fiorot. This went about like you would have thought.
No,
but
not like
yes, it did. Yes, it did.
It was 2-2 going into the fifth.
This went about like you would have thought. Never, because all of a sudden, as you said, your girl, Fiorot. Oh, so now you're a wrestler.
Yeah. She was actually a pretty good wrestler. I was pretty impressed.
Actually, she did pretty good. I was kind of impressed with it.
You gotta be honest. If you can wrestle like that, you should wrestle more often.
You should. Physically, she's strong. You can see it.
Yeah. Well, she's a weight bully.
She looked way bigger.
She's a weight bully
than Valentina. Way bigger.
Yeah.
She made Valentina
what, 45 now? I mean,
wow.
She's about to hang it up, but she's got to be.
That's just wrong. I'll tell you what, she fought a tough fight. It was not the most exciting fight in the world. Okay. But Valentina was being smart. If you looked at the stand up, you got to be honest about it. She was faster than Manott.
Yeah.
That
threw me off too. I was surprised by that.
And when Manott would throw, she countered her well.
Very well.
And so I'll stick with this.
Mm-hmm.
That was a smart move by her. And she was just sitting there waiting, and Manott, the nose did affect her from the start of the first round. That caused her a problem. It's tough to work through it. She did work through it.
Yeah.
There was a moment when I was looking at her in the corner and I'm like, does she really want to be there? But, she proved, hey, she was tough, went through the whole thing. I thought the scoring was right for the fight.
Yeah.
It was one of those. I think Mano's going to come back. She's going to be better. There's some things to work on there, a couple things, but you look and it was like overall there was some good action, and it was funny with the wrestling part. Now you're wrestling, but she actually did wrestle well.
Yeah,
her takedowns, physically she was strong, and the other part that was very impressive was Valentina landed some good takedowns. And Manott got right up.
Yeah, the one
not always.
She got taken down. She hooked her and elevated.
Oh, beautiful! Straight up and over with the elevator
and spun and turned to face her. I was like, okay.
Hold on. She didn't just elevate her over. She basically tossed her off, completely separated.
Yeah, something you see in a fucking movie.
Yeah, you go. Well, that was really well done.
Yeah,
but this is it. I know. It kind of, you don't know the way the UFC is looking. You think they would have liked to have had that French champion and a new champion and everything, because it's always refreshes everything. But I think we've got another challenger there. We'll talk about her in a second, to go up against Valentina, and that's going to be a great fight.
No, I would agree. I mean, the Manott fight, I thought she fought a good fight.
She did.
She just it took her the first round to figure out that okay, I'm getting countered because she's faster than me. She's more accurate with her striking. Yeah. When I bring my leg down after kicking, I'm putting myself right in boxing range. So instead of mixing it up, which I'm surprised her corner didn't say, start off with the hands or get her to react. So basically throw more feints, which even I think I heard Anik say normally she throws more feints, and she wasn't throwing them. She was just throwing straight raw dog with the kicks. And then she would, and then Valentina would just either parry it or move a little bit and then counter with some hands. And it was throwing her off. And the speed and the accuracy of Valentina was on point, man. She was able to hit her with some big shots. And once you get bloodied up in the first round, it just changes the way that you start thinking about how you're going to fight this fight. Because by round 2, because she was a wrestler. In round 2, she was, I was like, oh, shit.
So now you're a wrestler.
Shooting, huh? Great.
I had to text that one to you. Oh, so now she's a wrestler.
I was like, yeah, she's using all of her weapons.
Yeah.
Like Belal should. But no, I was very impressed with Manott. She's better than I thought on the ground too, in terms of her takedown defense, all of those things. But like I said, she's a little bit of a weight bully. She looked a lot bigger than Valentina.
Yeah, a lot.
Valentina, she looked like she slimmed down quite a bit. Either she's getting older, so losing a little bit of that muscle mass or whatever it is, but she looked a little bit slimmer. in comparison to Minot. And I mean, look, overall, we'll see how Minot does it. But she's no spring chicken, so she's gonna have to make it happen quickly.
She's 35,
30, yeah, somewhere around there, maybe 36, John.
But I will say this, the real comparison, if you look, Valentina on the outside was 35. much better, much sharper, faster. But I give it to Minot on the inside. Mm-hmm. Look at when it was in a phone booth and dirty and with the knees and everything, she landed some beautiful knees to the body.
Yeah, I love it in a phone booth and dirty. I love it.
Yeah, she fought really well there, so she's got a lot to be happy with the way she fought. But in the end, I know she'll be disappointed with the loss, but she'll learn from it.
Here's the thing though, like we used to get treated to like an exciting fight with Valentina Shevchenko. We're not getting that these days. Tonight was a perfect example of where she just stood right in the center.
But why?
And doesn't move.
Why? How did she lose her title?
She got choked out, right?
A spinning kick that she got caught on. Grasso got her back and then choked her. Was all off of being a little bit flashy.
So now we all have to pay the price to watch her.
You're going to pay the price.
That one fuck up. Jeez, man. Giving me flashbacks of the second part of GSP's career. Yeah. It's knocked out. All of a sudden, he's a wrestler. Damn it. Fucking Matt Serra. I blame you, Matt Serra. I blame you.
It's all Matt Serra's fault.
Ayman Zahabi. I mean, Helwani number 2. Against Jose Aldo.
Boy, that third round was awesome. You got to admit, that third round was even better than the Jack Maddalena versus Belal Muhammad. It was epic in that Zahabi, he got knocked down, but the kick that he took getting up, that hit him flush.
I know.
I mean, that was just impressive that didn't put him out and then he came back from that. And then he took a knee after that and stuff. And it's like, I've always known that he's tough, and I've always said, man, as the fight goes on, he gets better and better. And and he took over Aldo. When Aldo looked at the clock, you went, oh, he's in trouble.
It was exhausting. He made it very obvious that he was looking at the clock.
Oh, yeah.
He took a step back and he stopped and goes.
Not only did he look, he had to find the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very.
It was like a fucking
telling
7-year-old trying to see Santa's sleigh go through the fucking snow. What the fuck? I was like, what do you do? He's like, it's like, oh no. We don't, like, out of everything, you don't show that you're trying to look at the time. Don't show that. Like,
this is one of those fights, though, you're going to look, there's going to be a lot of people complaining about this one, saying Aldo won. And it's like, no.
I kind of thought he did.
Okay, but and this is
close though. I'm not mad at it.
He won the first round, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Second round was damn close.
Yeah.
Damn close. So it could go either way. In the third round, although he hurt Zahabi, by the end, Zahabi had brought it back. He won the.
You
I had one fight.
Bro, he got he dropped Zahabi.
He did get dropped,
John.
Dude. Did you see him at the end taking those elbows?
He was tired. I was taking a small little elbow here and there.
He was tired.
No big deal. You let the blood influence your decision, John.
I'm not letting blood influence anything. He was. If that fight had to go on longer, what would have happened?
No, but you don't judge it. See, John, you like to shape the rules around.
I'm not shaping. I can shape the rules any way I want. If I come down to it, I can start writing them right now and saying no.
That's ridiculous. I honestly thought Jose won. I thought he did enough damage in the third round, in the beginning of the third round. He dropped him twice.
No, he dropped him. There's no doubt. But every judge went with the fact that look at it, and part of it is it's the way he looked.
Yeah, I mean, like, just judges are just fucking biased. That's why.
No,
they were in Canada, and
Canada. Let's make sure. Okay, explain.
George
to me.
Just knows what I'm talking about. He's laughing right now. John, they're in Canada. Canada can't even buy a win these days. Okay, they're doing whatever they can. Let me just steal one of these.
Okay, explain to me what as far as like the criteria for judging. What is damage?
Soccer kick to the face is pretty fucking damaging, John. A knee to the dome that set him down again is another damaging blow.
A knee to the dome is it.
He soccer kicked him to the face. What else do you want, John? I mean, he got dropped twice in that round.
I want a lot of things.
So you're saying a guy who got dropped twice, soccer kick to the face and a knee to the face, and goes down twice, that's less damaging than taking some elbows from the top position in my guard when you're not postured up. And
it's not only the shots themselves, it's the way that Aldo is looking. And when I say that, it's because when you're looking at it, you're also looking to see is this damage causing a person to lose confidence, to lose the ability to compete, to lose their spirit. And if you look at that last round, all of those were there, every one of them. Okay. And that's why you had Zahabi winning the fight.
John, when a fighter gets exhausted by fucking punching another guy in the face, that should not count.
Okay, hold on. and this is the problem. This is the problem for you is, yeah, he did get tired going after Zahabi. Zahabi made it through all of it. Okay. And then for 3 minutes, put an ass whooping on him. Okay. No. And that's the problem.
Elbows, nothing major.
That's the problem. Is he lived through it. He made it through that assault. So it was clear that assault wasn't enough to finish the fight. But it was clear that by the end of the fight, Aldo was pretty wrecked.
But being I don't know, the kick to the face and the knee to the head, that would cause more damage mentally.
Hold on,
brain damage.
Well,
in those little.
This isn't about lasting effects in life. This is about the moment, and he made it through it, and then went and put on all of that output to take it back. And I understand why the judges went with him.
You can't say that the criteria
is a tough one.
Damage, John, and then not say hey, in 50 years, he's going to be more fucked up than Jose
Both
Aldo
were damaged, but you're talking about damage. And there's duration of the damage. And how much duration of the damage was there? There was a short duration of damage with Aldo. But it was real damage. I admit it was real damage. I'm not saying you're wrong. I agree with you. It was real damage. And I'm being honest, and I have seen it. And I do believe that, one of those shots that Zahabi got hit with, that one of them hurt him and one of them brought him back. And it happens. All of a sudden you're kind of lost and shoop, everything comes back because you got hit, and it kind of knocks all those neurons back in place, and it happens. And he was lucky enough to have that happen. And then he went on to just put it on him. And it was for such a long duration of time that there was that dominance. That's why he got the round. It was tight. It was tight.
It was very tight. And like I said, it really comes down to lasting impressions. The last thing that the judges see is normally how they're going to skew it, because they're humans and they fuck things up all the time. So, and I've told them that to their faces, especially if they're from Canada. They definitely have fucked it. So, anyways, look. By the way, I love Canadians, especially the ones in Alberta. But it's been great. I thought Zahabi, though, John, way tougher than I ever would have given him credit for.
Oh no,
way tougher.
That tough. I know
this guy,
dude. He's a dog.
Yeah, to take that soccer kick, hit the fence, hit the ground, and then fight his way back up, and then also pressed forward a little bit in that, and then took the knee, then came back and was trying to stand in front and gunsling.
Impressive.
Oh, very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Man, because I had sent a tweet out. I was like, hey man, literally Zahabi is Ariel Helwani if Ariel Helwani could fight. Literally, they look exactly alike. And then somebody posts a video of Zahabi getting into the arena. He's like, yeah, it's freaking Ariel Helwani showing up. Look at the curse is done. Dana's relinquished. He's okay with Ariel Helwani being in the arena again. I mean, they look exactly alike. I don't care.
Someone did say that they had fucking lifted the ban.
Yeah,
when he was walking. I said that's kind of funny, man.
Right, I thought it was good, man. So, but great job by Zahabi. Look, I'm not trying to discredit your win at all. I like to poke fun.
What about Aldo's retirement?
I think, yeah, definitely. I thought he should have stayed retired. Just my personal opinion. I would have loved. Honestly, for my selfish reasons, of course I wanted to see him come back. But John, for him, he's one of those guys where his prime was early. No different than like
Sure.
I've said this before, like Thai fighters. Their prime is like, 14, 15, 16. They're fucking over the hill by 19 and 21.
What was the first thing that you said though when we were talking about this fight? As far as
his kicks, he needs to kick.
Oh, yeah, that was exactly
him
it.
in the face.
And well, yeah. Other than that, there weren't many.
There was none.
And you just look and you go, man, the guy. It's for people that have not been around to watch Jose Aldo throughout his career. His kicks were so devastating early in his career. I mean, you remember what he did to Uriah Faber's leg.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was just. I mean, it was just nasty. And now,
no,
there's just not there.
Everything that I've heard, though, I heard he's got hip problems, which makes sense. Because John, I got to be honest, I had a coach, great coach, fantastic, but he almost took it as like a joke, and we actually had a conversation with him about it several times. And the conversation was, I can't just show up. And even though I'm a little bit warmed up, I can't just show up, because he'd always go, okay, 10 head kicks right to start, 10 head kicks right. I'm like, I can't do that. And I had to have a conversation with him, because as I was getting older in my career, we'd been doing that for 5 or 6 years. But when I was 37, 38, I'm like, yeah, I need to really get moving. I gotta get oiled. Yeah. 10 head kicks on the right, 10 head kicks on the left. And then you start realizing, like with Aldo, right? His whole game everything was set up off of his kicks. Yeah. And same for me, but I had a lot of push kicks. I had a lot of other, styles of way I used my kicks. Aldo was.
So did he though? He used a push kick all the time. He doesn't use it anymore. Yeah. He used to have that damn push kick up the middle. I mean, he was so much into the damn Thai kicks.
Yeah.
To the legs and everything, but he had a great push kick up the middle. He had a beautiful teep.
Can you imagine how nasty he'd be, John, now with the calf kicks? Oh, I don't even think there'd be many fighters.
His kicks were so fast.
Yeah, with his takedown defense and calf kicks, if they had came into play a lot earlier. Yeah, but everything I've been told, it sounds like he's got some hip issues.
That's
and I don't know why he came back.
The one fight that I really would have liked to have seen with him, now that Pitbull's there.
Yeah,
him at 145 against Pitbull at 145, since he said it would have been like a thing for Brazil, kind of which guy, but it's okay that they did it in the end.
To be honest, now after I saw him fight tonight, I wouldn't want to see that fight right now. Pitbull's slightly, his body's in a little bit better shape than Aldo's.
I think so.
Aldo's still dangerous as hell.
I think he said exactly the right thing was. Absolutely. I just it's not in me anymore, and it's not. It leaves, and people have a hard time believing that or understanding it, but it does. You as a young man, and what you like to do, and what you get enjoyment from, and what is fun and exciting, it changes over time, and it changes as you get older. And he's gotten to that point. I totally understand. He goes, I'm not the same, and he's not, and that's right time to leave then.
There's just moments when you're like, I've given my whole life to this, and you're like, there's still money on the table.
That's the hard part. That you got to get past.
Lastly, like, deep down inside, you're like, this is not for me anymore. Yeah. But do you walk away from the money? Do you walk away from everything you know? And that's difficult, and it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It was a very tough decision, and for him, I'm sure he obviously came back. So it was a tough decision for him the first time.
Yep.
And then now he came back. And I think it's almost that second time is like, you're basically just solidifying the fact that, like, I was right the first time. I gave it an honest go. I tried to come in and do it. And look, he's never been someone to like miss weight like by that much.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, he's always been pretty professional about everything, and just
I don't think he's ever missed weight besides this.
Okay. I thought he had missed a long time ago in the WEC. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe right in because he was always the champion. So if you miss weight, you don't get a fight for the title. So I got to be wrong. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Fuck, I'm batting 1,000.
I do remember back, like when he was fighting as the featherweight champion in the UFC, there was always that thing about, man, he's big.
Yeah.
Man, he's big, because he carried a lot of muscle and stuff, and he's going to have a hard time making weight. Never. He always made it.
He's an animal, dude. He's a stud. Yeah. He's one of my favorite fighters ever. Just the leg kicks, great style.
Yep.
Great style. Watch. You got Natalia Silva versus Alexa Grasso.
I'll let you go.
I mean, shit, I was right.
There it is. Now, I will say you did say that you thought Natalia was too fast for her.
Yeah.
And
her movement, her speed.
Her movement is, it's smart movement.
Mm-hmm.
It is not just movement. She sets things up off of her movement, and it's just effective. And I love watching her fight because she's showing true intelligence out there as a fighter, but it's not like she doesn't, she throws.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing her hands are kind of pitter patter. There's just not a lot. Well, it's just the way.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Okay. But Alexa Grasso had more power. You could see she had more power on her shots. If you as you said, if you can't touch it, it's not going to do a whole lot. And she's very difficult to touch.
Yeah, I just, after going back and watching some of her fights and thinking to myself, like, Alexa Grasso likes to stalk after people, doesn't really cut the cage off all that well.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult. And then Alexa Grasso's wrestling is not the greatest. It's not bad. Her grappling's good, not the wrestling department of it all. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, how's she going to get her? If she does get her, will she also be physically strong enough? Like, Alexa doesn't look like she's strong. I think she's stronger than she looks, but I just didn't think that she'd be as strong as Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva's got muscles on top of muscles. She's like shredded. I'm like, this is, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Her quickness is really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. She has got speed. And I mean, it's speed in her hands, speed in her kicks, speed in her movement. Her footwork is really, well done. She sets things up well. She's beat some really good fighters here to get to where she's at, and she's right, she's at the number one position.
Yeah. I would agree. I think Natalia Silva, do you put her right there at the number one spot now? You say she fights next for the title?
Well, who was number one?
Grasso. It was Mano, right?
I think Mano was number two. I think it was Grasso was number one.
There you go. Yeah. So, basically she's got to be next, right?
Well, I would say she's got to be one, and because Mano lost and Grasso, she beat her, so she's gonna go to number one.
Well, John, I'm calling it now, man. She fucking dog walked Shevchenko. I'm calling it now.
You might be right on that one.
Oh, wait. You're saying this time that I'm right? Okay.
Okay.
I better backtrack then, because Benoit Saint-Denis.
All I know is I swear to you, and this was in Canada, so it kind of crossed my mind while I was watching the show. I was kind of like, Josh is kind of like Drake.
Yeah.
If Josh picks someone, go the opposite way.
You son of a bitch. You're this fucking guy. Oh. We just don't have to rub in your losses.
Just a shit.
Right. It's okay. I can.
Benoit Saint-Denis taking on Kyle Prepolec. This is the last minute replacement in the fight. It would have been a different fight, with what was supposed to be done with Joel Alvarez. That would have been, I think, a really good fight.
Yeah.
A close matched fight. But, they brought somebody in, he fought hard. He was just, outmanned, outgunned. And I thought it was, it was just a domination by Benoit, but it should have been. And that's what he did. If you're in that position, that's what you should get, that finish.
Mike Malott versus Charlie Radtke.
Damn, I got to give it to Mike Malott, man. These guys were throwing some bombs.
Yeah, they were.
They were sitting down, man, and just both of them touching each other. But it was the left hook contest right at the end. That left hook was beautifully placed, much better than Racky's was. It had more steam on it, put Racky down, and Chuck Buffalo got hit one time and he went out on the ground there. So beautiful job by Mike Malott. I thought he really, he in this fight he actually showed, because we've seen him where he lost before, where he kind of lost, lost all that, just the confidence that seemed to go away from him in that one fight. Now he looked good in this one. He looked confident. He looked ready. And he looked like, I'll bite down on my mouthpiece and I'm gonna go after you. He did.
I mean, Canada needed this win. I mean, Radtke went out there was talking a lot of trash, So But look, I like that he went out there and he tried to throw down the gunsling, both of them.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, hey, let's just see what happens. And when you got your whole country behind you and you're in your own country fighting, you better fucking get it done.
Yep.
So good on him, man. I got to tip my hat to him. He had a great fight, man. It was smart. He fought good. I mean, and what I liked is that when he did drop him, he finished him.
Yeah. He
jumped right on it. Gave me and no disrespect to my boy, but gave me flashbacks of BJ Penn, Dean Thomas. When Dean hit the ground, BJ didn't wasted no time. Yeah. Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Jessica Andrade.
I called this one.
I mean, John,
she's good.
She is. You know what? She doesn't jump off the page. You know what I mean? Like,
but she's solid.
Yeah.
She is solid everywhere. She's got good wrestling. Her stand-up is probably her weakest area, but it's coming along and it's getting better.
Yeah.
And she uses her length well. And she's for, this division at 5'7", 5'8", she's pretty long. And this puts her up there now. She did have a loss to Natalia Silva, couldn't catch her basically. So putting her back, to possibly get another shot at that.
Yeah.
But it's two ways for me. I thought was a great performance by Jasmine. I thought she fought exactly like she should have. Went out there, she used her range, but when she got the opportunity for the takedown, she took it. Moved it, getting the back, flattened her out, did everything. But it was kind of sad to watch Jessica Andrade. Kind of sad to see her just get worked as far as everything went wrong for her. Nothing was there for her. So that was a little bit, I feel bad for her.
But her styles ran its course. Everyone knows how to beat her now. Everyone understands, like, if you can take her shot and get in and close the distance and get her into the clinch and get her down to the ground, she's lacking that ground area.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, then you've got a good chance of beating her. And with her, she relies a lot on her power. And so when you rely a lot on your power and you throw loopy punches, the chances of you getting taken down are a lot higher. People know that. Yeah. So Jasmine being pretty much like a tailor-made matchup for her. But I just wasn't sure with Jasmine if she was going to be intimidated by someone like Jessica Andrade, because a lot of people look across the cage and go, damn.
Yep.
She's going to fuck me up.
Yeah, that's a hard-hitting stump.
Yeah, right? And then if you got to try to shoot on her, because Jessica's what, 5'1"?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, she's tiny. So trying to lower your level, get underneath so you can, get a takedown on her is not the easiest thing either. So, John, what other fights on here? Obviously, there's a couple other fights on here I want to talk about, but the Bukauskas and the Cuțelaba fight.
Yep.
Good fight. I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of boring.
No, you see, I actually kind of enjoyed the fight, but I thought Cuțelaba won the fight. I had him winning the fight.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you have him winning?
He landed by far. He landed the heavier shots overall. He was always the guy that was, putting the Bukauskas back on his foot. He had him going backwards. He was in, control of it. Now, volume-wise, he had more volume by far. Mm-hmm. And I thought he had the heavier shots. And then in the end, they gave it to Bukauskas. I had it 29-28 the other way. But
interesting. Navajo Stirling versus Ivan Erslan.
You know what? I thought I believed going in that Navajo was going to win the fight. I've seen him fight before. I've seen Ivan fight before. I even saw Ivan fight in KSW. And he's a tough guy, but he boxes. Mm-hmm. He goes out there and he boxes. And it's like, well, and I looked at it and go, well, he's going to box someone that's pretty good at kickboxing, has a lot of length on him, comes from basically, city kickboxing, in New Zealand and stuff. It's like, it's not going to be an easy fight for Ivan to win. And, in the end, it went to decision, but it went to the right guy.
Yeah, Sterling was having some problems in the first round with the boxing and the countering.
Yep.
Then once he realized you could wrestle a little bit, and grind on him, hang on him, tire him out, and then go ahead and let your hands go. I mean, he had started having more success. So, domination in the third round. Great performance in that third round. Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva.
fast, vicious, and you look great. Nice to see Mark Andre get a win there. He's been on the receiving end of things that were close to that.
Yeah.
So it's, good for him to get the win up there. And glad Bruno is okay.
They were showing like video footage of like Bruno getting elbowed in the head, thinking that like he fractured his skull or something because like something moved or shifted inside the head. Could have just automatically swelled up. Yeah. But hopefully he's okay. Sounds like he's okay, but hopefully he's okay. The fight that I really enjoyed was the Santos versus Yeong Lee.
Mm-hmm.
John, they stood toe to toe. They went after it from the opening bell. It was a fantastic fight. Santos also, I literally spit my drink out. DC goes, yeah, Santos, he's obviously fighting up in weight, so he took this fight a little bit on short notice. Didn't want to cut the weight to get down in weight. He's like, it looks a little bit softer around the sides. And then DC goes, yeah, but I'm no one to be judging other people's bodies.
Well, I'll tell you.
The fact that he said that on live air, I was like, bro, I got to give you props, man. Congrats. That was funny. True, but fucking hilarious that you threw that out there.
But Daniel Santos looked fantastic in that fight.
Absolutely.
I mean, you talk about the first round, Lee was doing well, and Santos changed it up.
Yep.
And, man, he came out and he was putting it on him in the second and third rounds. It was like that was a great fight. You give both guys. I love those kind of fights, and I hate that someone's got to lose.
Yeah.
But someone's got to lose. But, Lee, he definitely stood out as one of the fights of the night along with Santos. And so no loss in my mind for Lee. He moves on to the next fight.
I mean, losing to a 35-pounder, though, is not the best, when someone comes up. But, I mean, Santos fought a great fight. Lee looked great as well, especially in that early parts of the fight. So, hey, guys, that's going to wrap up our UFC 315 talk. And George has got some news for us, man. But before we do that, make sure you guys follow us over on OnlyFans. We are still partnering with OnlyFans. Click us on. We do our Tuesday night live show available across all platforms at 9:30 Eastern time. 9:30 Eastern time on Tuesday nights. We do it. And it is available on OnlyFans. It's available on Kick, Twitch, Instagram, X, Rumble, obviously on our YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check us out on Tuesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I've just cracked up on my element. So make sure you guys use our link down below in the descriptions. They'll send you a bonus package with every purchase. George, give us some news, buddy. Let's have a couple conversations. Let's have it.
Do you want to talk about the PFL stuff that's happened?
Tell me what PFL stuff has happened.
PFL stuff that happened.
Just, Paul Hughes getting a 45-second.
Paul Hughes had a big win against Bruno Miranda. Kind of expected.
Yeah. I mean, Paul's a stud, man.
He's a stud.
Let's not forget, Paul was also one of the guys as a free agent. I think leaving Cage Warrior? Is it Cage Warrior?
Yeah.
Okay. The UFC had put a pretty big bid in to get him.
Yeah.
PFL put a pretty big bid in to get him.
Well, it was
PFL
Bellator, actually.
What's that?
And they kind of said it was Bellator because he went to Bellator.
Okay. Well, regardless. So anyway,
but it was PFL was running it.
Yeah, but they basically they were able to sign him. They paid him a pretty penny. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, he is.
UFC really wanted him.
Still do.
PFL, Bellator, yeah, they still do, and they'll probably end up
eventually get him.
Eventually, and but no, look, great performance. We expected him to have a great performance, and it went almost exactly how we thought it would have went. I mean, look, if you guys take a look at the way he fought Usman Nurmagomedov, this fight that just happened with Miranda, exactly how Usman had problems with him. Anytime Usman threw kicks, he would catch the kick by the heel and swing it through, and then counter with a hook or a right hand.
AJ McKee too.
Yeah, exactly. AJ struggled big time with it, and he does it so easily. He just catches and swipes it away, and then counters heavy with big boxing.
And he's got power.
Yeah, he obviously we saw it tonight. So, what else you got for us, George?
Do you want to talk about Vitor Belfort inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. That was I put out a thing, saying, "Hey, congratulations to Vitor Belfort." And the first thing I get back is a bunch of people. Yeah, he was a steroid user. So, stop, dude. If you have to be that much of a hater, look, he went through the whole TRT thing. At the time, it was legal. Then when they didn't say it was legal, he wasn't on it. What are you going to say? He was on it when he could do it. Okay.
John, he was on it when he fought Randy Couture the first time.
Oh, no. Time out. He was on stuff long before that. Okay. But it was legal. There was nothing against it. So, I can tell you stories with Vitor. I've gone through all kinds of things with Vitor. But back then it was legal. He did it. He never did it where he was hiding it. Never.
So that makes it okay.
Yeah, if it's not illegal, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
I guess. I'm not I'm a huge Vitor Belfort fan in terms of I love watching him fight. I'm just not fully on board, I think, with the Hall of Fame. It's my personal preference, man. I was never a big guy. I was never I had to work extremely hard for everything. Not that he didn't work hard. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm simply saying I wasn't extremely athletic. I did the best I could with what I had. I had to develop some athleticism to try and keep up with these guys, and it just to see this guy had it all. He was extremely athletic without the shit, and you pump it into him and fucking he became a monster, and I don't know. I'm on the fence.
See, but it worked both ways though. It worked both ways. I look at it that way because,
What do you mean it worked both ways?
It worked both ways in that if you watched Vitor when he was first coming up, the speed and everything was there, but then he started taking stuff, and it was about the the very first Randy Couture fight with him.
Yeah.
So somewhere UFC 15 or so, 14, 15, right in there. It wasn't 14, 15, I'll say. And he had no gas tank because of it. No gas tank. He was strong, but he had no gas tank. And so it wrecked him. Mm-hmm. And then he went and had other fights, that he did. And, the whole pride thing, he didn't do great. And a lot of it was because he took stuff and he didn't have any kind of gas. Then he got off of it, and then he came back, and then they did the TRT, and he went back with that, but that worked for him off of it. And it's I look at, you can take a look at the UFC's Hall of Fame. Okay. And there's some fighters in there that you look at and you go, how are you in there?
Yeah. Are you, but they're talking about fights though. They put their fights in there. No.
There's fighters that are in there, not for their fights. And you look and you go, hardly have a winning record. No, not doing it. I can't. I'm not gonna blast John. I'm not gonna blast someone just because it's just my opinion, but you can just sit there and have fighters that don't have great records or anything and didn't do half of what he did and compete against half of what he competed against, but they're there, so absolutely he belongs in there. That's the way I look at it.
I'm on the fence still. You didn't change shit. Look, like I said, he was one of my favorite fighters. He's actually one of the guys because his fight with Vanderlei Silva the first time, that's what got me kind of addicted to watching the sport. Was the way he blitzed him and his fast hands, and I'm like, man, this dude's he's built like a Greek god. I was like, gosh, and man, I was just like, dude, this is awesome. And then obviously watching him fight throughout his career and this and that, and then fight on the same card as him and all the other things too. I'm like, man, I was thoroughly impressed. But then as I started fighting more and realizing that he's on shit, it kind of just like, hey man, I think for the rest of the athletes, and this was all during the Barry Bonds shit and Jose Canseco, Sammy Sosa stuff, so going through all that, and then hey, it's illegal over there, but it's not illegal here, or it is illegal here, but people are not getting caught, and that they're using. It's so it just kind of taints it. I think it always taints it for me, whether it's Anderson Silva, whether it's John Jones, whether it's
So is John Jones going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, but John, I know, I understand what you're saying.
But does he belong in the Hall of Fame, Josh?
If you're a cheater, I don't think you do.
Does he belong in the Hall of Fame for his fighting? Yes.
No, but you're shaping the argument. You can't. Here's the thing, though. If you've tested positive, then so we should. So okay, I should just put in everybody then, and just put an asterisk next to his name.
No, it's not. There's no asterisk.
There should be.
No, there shouldn't.
Why?
He already paid. He already paid his punishment.
There should be an asterisk next to every cheater. There should be.
Okay, but this is, you can sit there and say, well, okay, so someone does something that you don't like. Okay, I understand it. I don't blame you for not liking it. But did he get penalized for it? Yeah, he did.
What does that have to do with?
So now you want to penalize him again for the same thing? When actually he's the best fighter that's ever done it.
They'll always wonder. We'll always wonder how good he was because of this stuff. Just be honest, his brother tested positive too in the NFL.
Okay,
so it's like, okay, so then obviously they know each other.
So it's a family affair.
It's just one of those things, John. I can't get it out of my head. Like there needs to be more. There needs to be more emphasis on like, hey, this guy was a cheater when he was fighting. Doesn't matter how good he was. You got to stop giving credence to like, oh, he was a great fighter. Yeah, super athletic. And I said this before. I put something out because he's like, oh, AKA fighters, they fucking all hate me. No, we don't hate you. John Jones, I don't think anybody I know at AKA fucking hates you. We hate the fact that you felt the need to cheat when I don't think you ever needed to do it. You are so gifted and athletic that you wasted your God-given talent by having that put on you. You did it to yourself. That's what's frustrating, to see people like him who didn't need to cheat, that were born with gifts that he has. That's what's frustrating. Like, and you've got people like John Fitch and myself trying to fucking grind it out, and trying to do the best we can with these fucked up bodies. Right? Like I think it just drove me crazy, man. Like Anderson Silva, same thing. Guy was so gifted, man. So gifted. But obviously tested positive too. Like it just
so he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame then.
Like if you put him in there should be an asterisk. Well, I have a question. Like Barry Bonds is in the Hall of Fame and he hasn't even tested positive. Because everyone knew.
Baseball's in there. Hold on. Baseball's in their own little thing, okay?
Yeah, and MMA needs to kind of join on the bandwagon of the baseball thing.
Shit.
Fucking
baseball used to know exactly what was going on, and they let it go on.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, it was, oh, we need to do something about this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just look. I feel like there should be an asterisk next to everyone's name. They tested hot. If you didn't test hot, then whatever. It bothers me that we are willing to look past it because he's so gifted. That's what's the most frustrating thing to me. He was so gifted. He had God-given gifts, his length, his reach, his ability, his athleticism, all those things. And he's also got a very mean streak in him, and he's got a good work ethic, as you can tell. You don't get to be that good without a good work ethic, even if you're that talented. Even if you're that gifted. But he cheated. Bottom line is he cheated.
Okay.
And John, let's be honest. He should have 2 losses, not 1. The Anthony Smith one should be a loss. Anthony was just a fucking man and just bucked up.
Okay. No, it should not be.
You guys keep sticking up for him. He cheated. He broke the rules in that fight.
How am I sticking up for him? I'm not sticking up for him.
No, because you said
I'm sticking up for Anthony Smith being a man and doing things right.
You're right, but you said the same thing about the Matt Hamill thing. About no, that shouldn't be a loss. No, it should be. You cheated. It should be a loss. He cheated.
No.
He threw the elbow straight down.
He did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Then how? What happened? How do you lose from a 12-6 elbow?
Someone called that.
Well, that's the rules, right, John?
Doesn't mean that it was actually a 12-6 elbow. Just because
what did they do?
No.
The ref was wrong.
You're gonna talk about a referee that had problems and was actually taken off of being able to referee. So
the ref was wrong. We just continue to keep making excuses for John.
He was wrong about everything with that fight.
It was.
Let's be honest.
The knee to the head of Anthony. Anthony could have been champion. I know he didn't want to take it that way. I give him a lot of credit for that.
So do I.
Absolute animal for that. Bottom line is, John should have another loss. Look, I know I've gone off on this, and I'm going to get a ton of hate for this in the comments, but I don't know. It does frustrate me that there is no asterisk next to anyone that got busted cheating that's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
What else you got for us there?
There's a whole lot of people in that Hall of Fame that have been caught cheating. Then
I know they all should have asterisks next to them. I'm not trying to
including Dan Cormier.
Did he test positive?
No, but he cheated.
How'd he cheat?
Hell, he cheated on a weigh-in. Put his hands on a towel to cheat the weight because he couldn't make it.
That's not proof.
It's not proof.
No, John, like you can't.
This is my point. Oh, see, one cheating is okay, but the other cheating is
you
not.
Can prove that there was damage done. There was proof.
There's picograms. There was proof. John. There was proof that he grabbed the towel and pushed down on the towel, though.
But you don't know how much weight it.
It's a video. You want to go back and watch it?
But you don't know how much weight it took off. There's no way to prove
matter.
it. There's no way to prove it.
It took off enough, didn't it?
It wasn't a rule, was it? You couldn't push down the towel. Was that a rule? Did they make that rule yet? The 12-6 elbow was a rule.
Hey, your bias is continuing.
No, it's not, John. No, it's not.
It's okay.
George, what else you got for us, buddy?
Do you want one more?
One more.
All right. One Brazilian who has not been caught cheating yet. Alex Poatan Pereira. He was quote unquote hacked over the week. Do you guys believe he was actually hacked? That's a conspiracy going around. Or do you think he's fed up with the BS of the system?
No. I really don't know.
Look, sometimes you get mad and you text, you put out things, you tweet, or you put on Instagram things that you go, I shouldn't have put that out there. What are we going to do? He got hacked. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to believe that Poatan got hacked.
John, like after I've had a drink or two, I just put my phone away. Nothing good ever comes of like being on your phone after you've like two or three drinks in. I don't even know if he drinks. I'm just simply saying like
this comes down to your dad's rule for tattooing just a little bit different. You know, if you want to tweet that out, wait until morning. If you think it's still a good idea, then do it.
I've started doing this thing, right? Because I go through my X account and I see people just posting and talking all this shit on, about politicians and on politics in the US and the tariffs and all this. So now I just get on there and I type it all out. I let it sit for about 5 seconds and I read it 2 or 3 times and then I just highlight it all and I hit delete. And it's almost like getting it out. Like you got it all out, but you didn't really send it to anybody.
Okay.
You didn't send it.
You guys want me to read what was posted?
Yeah, let's do it.
I always answered the UFC's calls, but if they want to play with me, we can do that. I've never spoken poorly of the UFC, but with what I've just heard, I'm disheartened. I've already had thoughts of not fighting anymore, and after what was just relayed to me, this may be the start.
I mean, look, I just want to, it's funny because as soon as this thing was put out, I wanted to let everyone know. I'm like, and I've had conversations with like a lot of these fighters' managers. Literally, like they were texting me this. Like we're in a group chat with several of these other managers. And they're like, dude, everybody's dispensable. Like no one's safe these days. There's no, like no one's safe. Connor's not safe. Like, Alex not safe. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter. The sport is now officially bigger than any athlete. Doesn't matter. And, and if you're a fighter, and I've said this over the last 3 weeks, you do not have anywhere else to go that will make you the same amount of money. So either start minding your P's and Q's, start taking all the fights they want. They offer you, unless something comes up and you just can't do it. But it's a business decision, whatever it is. But they're not going to be putting up with your guys' shit much. They're going to be letting you guys know in contracts and in fights offered, there won't be much available. You have nowhere to go. Take it or leave it. Shit or get off the pot. Make exciting fights or we'll cut you. And good luck. No one else can sign you if we say, he's boring. Our media will make the world believe that you're boring. So you either start standing and stop wrestling, and or you're going to be gone. And so that's a sad situation, but I mean, that's the reality of it right now. Like, they want entertaining fights, and you got to go out there and lay it all on the line, and you have nowhere else to go. Got to make that money. If this is what you want to do for your life, if this is what you want to do for your career, then you need to let that settle into your mind as you guys are talking contracts, or when you're turning fights down, or when you get on the internet. Write it all out, type out how much you hate the UFC or how much you hate Dana, but then just hit delete.
Hit delete.
I'm just giving you that's a good way to vent it out. Vent it all out, but just don't send it. Guys, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Grind it. Winning solves everything. That's the biggest thing.
All right. Anything else, George?
That's it.
Okay.
Hey, guys, that's going to wrap up our show.
I got to say an apology to Dan Cormier because I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
I know, and he should be.
Oh.
I just had to pick on him to get at you.
Yeah, but he didn't cheat, though.
That's cheating.
John, there's no way to prove it. Didn't take any weight off.
Look at this is the same as I had the New York Athletic Commission, call me and say, "Did you see it?" And I said, "Yeah, you're right. I saw it. Do you think he was cheating?" I said, "No, I don't think he was cheating. I know he was cheating, right?" But I said, but I always say, man, if he ain't cheating, he ain't trying, and he got away with it, so it worked for him. Just know next time, no, he's got to you can't have him put his hands on anything, right? But I think Dan had been through enough weigh-ins in his life. He had all kinds of ways.
Oh yeah. That wasn't the only one. Wasn't the only one. All right, guys. Hey, that's going to wrap up our show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this recap of the UFC 315, and on to the next one, man. Also, this show is brought to you by LMNT. Drink LMNT. Use the link down below in the descriptions. They'll send you a bonus package with every purchase. BetUSTV.com. Hit them up. Check out 125% bonus on your first 3 deposit. And they're also doing a 50% renewal available as well. So you can re-up after your first 3 deposits at 50%. So check that out at BetUSTV.com. And last but not least, join us over at OnlyFans. 9:30 Eastern time on Tuesday nights. We do a live show across all platforms. A lot of people follow us over on the Instagram, on the OnlyFans platform. I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. Also, become a member. And I sent over another package. So we got 3 packages out, sent over some of our members, some drink element, and also a special prize that I put in each box for all of you loyal fans that are members to us and that listen to us, and super chats and everything else you guys do for us on Tuesday nights on our live show. Thank you guys so much. John, take us away, bud.
For everyone out there, hope you enjoyed the fights. Hope you enjoyed our little banter back and forth. Josh was wrong again, and we will see you.